Hey there friends! It is maybe a little too sunny. Hey there friends, welcome back. It is an absolutely beautiful day. It is another week and I am back with another craft project. So after last week's travesty of an attempt at a craft project, we're gonna do something so much simpler. Hopefully get a one-day project out of the way. And let me explain. So I've got two lanterns. The first one is a mains plug lantern. I cannot remember where I got it. I've had it for a long time now. And the second one is a Halloween lantern that I got from Poundland a few years ago. But my plan is, for these, is to make them a little bit more themed. I'm gonna make this one less Halloween-y, and we're gonna make both of them look like stained glass, because I absolutely love stained glass. So I've gone out and bought some acetate, and my plan is to design the acetate with loads of colours and cut it into sections that are gonna fit on the inside. And then my plan for this one is the same with the acetate, but I'm going to paper mache the outside, this plastic bit of the lantern, and just make it look more weathered, try and make it look like wrought iron. Where did I put that notebook? That's more like it. So for this one, because the panels are just clear, I've done just a rough design. I've got a moon themed panel, a sun themed panel, and then I'm gonna do two that are just sort of general stained glass designs. And then for this one, I'm probably just gonna do like a tie-dye effect, because it's already got the outlines on the lantern. Hopefully this is gonna be a project that I can execute well this time, and it's a beautiful sunny day. Let's get into it. Alrighty, so I begin by putting down my everything towel to protect my desk, and I start by seeing if and how the plastic lantern comes apart. It does. So much easier than I expected, and the panels I wanted to replace just slid out. After taking off the lid piece and the hanging hook piece, and taking out the candle, I was ready to do the first coat of paper mache. Taking the decoupage medium, I put the first layer onto all of the pieces, just making sure that all of the outside of it's covered in an even layer of ripped up newspaper, and left it to dry. The second layer of paper mache is just to thicken it and strengthen it. And I was just so excited to get into the fun bit. Grabbing my tub of Sharpies, I nest and look over the designs I'd made the night before. Taking a black Posca marker, I trace over my designs onto the acetate sheets. Fairly roughly, as I'm going to touch it up later. Once I've done the moon and sun panels, and the two doodle panels, I move on to giving them a second coat, just to fill out those lines and thicken it all up. Once that's done, this is the fun bit. And from the first strokes, it was one of those instant payoff feelings. Turning the acetate over, I then start filling in the cells with colour. This is super satisfying, and while I won't show it all here, I will be doing a full time lapse, as this was honestly one of the most satisfying things I've done lately. Obsessed. But feeling like I didn't want to rush, I paced it into the next day. Okay, so it is day 2.
A one-day project.
A one-day project. So it is day 2. It is another beautiful sunny day in the UK today, and I am so happy. I think I surprised myself. Look at it! Oh, this is promising. This is really promising. This turned out so much better than I expected. Looking at it close up, it's definitely not there yet. It looks super impressive on camera. The Posca markers that I've been using have scratched a lot. So I'm going to try I think I've got a paint marker. which might be exactly the same problem. I was considering using hot glue or some sort of puffy paint to make it like raised up, and I think because the Posca is scratching off, I'm gonna explore that a bit more. However, I am gonna try and get a second coat of colour onto this and colour in the other ones, and I'm this is gonna be the fun part for me. I do also need to put another layer of paper mache onto the lantern, but I'm gonna do that first. Very good at planning. Gonna put another layer of paper mache on the lantern and leave that to dry, and then I'm gonna sit down and do the extra fun bit. And yeah, it's all coming together. I'm gonna get it done today. The weather is gorgeous. I saw a strange rainbow outside my window this morning, and I'm taking that as a good sign. Today's gonna be great. So let's go. So in my little pot of Sharpies, I have some that are branded Sharpies, and I also have some that are just stationary permanent markers. They're not great. They're pretty damn bad. And I don't actually have a yellow Sharpie. I only have just stationary permanent marker in yellow. So what I did try. Yeah, see, it's not even... Considering I filled the center of this one with that yellow, you cannot see it. So I'm gonna see if either WH Smith or Hobbycraft have individual Sharpies, because I'd rather not buy a whole nother set of Sharpies, but I'm also not continuing with this awful yellow monstrosity. So a bit of a detour, but second coat on this one is looking great. Honestly, I could just hold this here forever. The final coat of paper mache on the lantern looks great too. So it's all going pretty well, just need a slight detour to grab some more Sharpies. Really testing the audio quality here because it is really noisy outside, and it is also too warm to not have the window open, so I'm really hoping I can trust in the audio settings that I've done. I'm back. Do they sell Sharpies individually? No, of course they don't, not Big Sharpie. So I ended up buying 24 new Sharpies to add to an already very full tub of Sharpies, so I cannot be contained. And can I just get what I wanted? No. I also ended up getting some really adorable Hello Kitty stickers and sticky notes. Cannot be contained. I did also pick up a silver Posca so that for the front of this one I can do some like silverness. Some little silver stars and patterns with the silver. Using our newly acquired 24 Sharpies, we're going to crack out all of the panels, get that done in time lapse. I'm going to put that next. And yeah, the exciting bit is exciting. The lantern needs a first coat. Before I can jump in with my newly acquired 24 Sharpies, the lantern is ready to be given a first coat, so I'm going to get on with that. And a bin lorry has just pulled up outside, so perfect time to cut to a new time lapse. Go! The final layer of paper mache I did on the lantern was to build up more of a texture. Because I was going for a very faux wrought iron look, I built up a knobbly surface and created a thicker edge on the lid piece. After letting that dry, it was time for the first coat of paint. Mixing a shimmery pearl colour and a black acrylic, I start building up the colour. I'm not taking much notice of keeping it a solid colour, as slight gradients really work for this. And while the paint dried, I finally sat down for the fun bit. Taking a combination of my new Sharpies, which were packaged like an ammo bandolier, and the ones I already had, I set right in with finishing the bright yellows and sunshine colours of the sun panel. And for the background, I chose a light pastel-y selection of daybreak colours. For the doodle panels, I just chose random colours and mixed them into various gradients like panels of stained glass. Because the Posca outline was scratching a lot, I decided to use a small paintbrush and some black acrylic, just to reinforce that outline and give it a matte finish. Oh, and for the panels for the metal lantern, I went completely freeform with it. No two were the same, and I just went abstract as I knew the metal outline would be the biggest detail that you'd see. Taking the silver Posca marker, I outline and bring some detail back into the stars, moon, and the little planet on this panel. Now arranging all the bits together for the final stretch, I give the now painted and dried lantern pieces a coat with the satin varnish. And while that's drying, I start to add the abstract panels into the metal lantern, trimming freehand as I go. After attempting with the world's smallest scissors, I decide to switch up to some comically too large scissors and trim down the rectangular panels. Using some double-sided tape, I decided where I could put it that would secure the panels and be hidden from the outside. This bit was super fiddly, especially as I had done zero measuring and planning, so I was constantly taking the panels out, trimming them again, and trying to fit them back in. For the rounded panels on the top, I vaguely marked the shapes it would need to be and trimmed 4 versions of that shape. Because I made no attempt to bend or heat the acetate to conform to the shape of the lantern, I was fighting an uphill battle, reinforcing it with more and more double-sided. But once it was done, and I switched it on, I fell in love. And with stained glass stars in my eyes, I began reassembling the plastic lantern, which was now dry. Realising that my lack of measuring had once again meant the panels were much larger than they needed to be, I trimmed them down so that they slid into the slots like butter. Securing the tops of the panels with some more tape, I mounted the lid back onto it, clipped it back on securely, and we were done. This is my immediate reaction after finishing, because, oh my gosh, I did not expect them to turn out this good. Like, I am unable to capture it right this second. Look at how bad it's lighting me. Honestly, I am so chuffed. See the other one? Ugh. Oh. I am hugely chuffed. Oh my gosh. Yes! This has more than made up for all of the problems I had with the glass bottles. This is gorgeous. This turned out 20 times better than I expected it to. It really did. And like, I know it was just simple, but I needed a stroke of good luck. And look at the moon side. I love it. I love everything about it. I am in love. So there we have it. My £1 Halloween lantern, a now gorgeous mock iron colourful delight. And my pretty but plain metal lantern now shines rainbows on my wall with such whimsy. If you liked the video, don't forget to like. If you want to stick around, hit subscribe, and I'll be back with another project very soon. Bye!